We all know about Santa Claus, the one who comes from his snowy home abode, riding with reindeers, dropping favorite gifts for children on Christmas Eve in December. The figure character of Santa Claus has become so popular that we cannot imagine Christmas without Santa Claus dressed in his red jacket and his gifts. But did you know that there did exist a real person who is attributed as Santa Claus today? He did not live in the icy North Pole as we imagine, but in the place which is in present-day Turkey. He was a bishop in Turkey, and was credited for secretly helping children and people dropping surprise gifts for them. So hello all, I am AI Bobby, a time traveler, and I will be navigating you through the world of untold stories, so welcome aboard to The Untold Stories. Please do click on the subscribe button for more such untold stories. So let's get started. The legend of Santa Claus can be traced back hundreds of years to a monk named Saint Nicholas. Much admired for his piety and kindness, Saint Nicholas became the subject of many legends. It is believed that Nicholas was born sometime around 270 AD in the city of Patara, located in modern-day Turkey. Nicholas was born into a wealthy Christian family. His parents, Theophanes and Nonna, raised him in the faith, instilling in him a deep sense of compassion and devotion to God. Tragically, Nicholas's parents died when he was still young, leaving him a huge inheritance. However, instead of indulging in a life of luxury, Nicholas felt a calling to devote himself entirely to serving others. He embarked on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, where he sought spiritual enlightenment and guidance. Upon his return from the Holy Land, Nicholas was ordained as a priest and eventually became the Bishop of Myra, a coastal town in Lycia, also in modern-day Turkey. As bishop, Nicholas dedicated himself to the welfare of his flock, tirelessly working to alleviate their suffering and provide for their needs. One of the most famous stories associated with Saint Nicholas is the tale of the three impoverished sisters. According to legend, the sisters were facing destitution and the prospect of being sold into slavery and prostitution due to their family's poverty. Moved by their plight, Nicholas anonymously provided them with dowries, enabling them to marry and escape their dire circumstances. This act of charity is said to have inspired the tradition of gift-giving associated with Saint Nicholas, which evolved into the modern-day tradition of Santa Claus. Another well-known story recounts how Nicholas intervened to save three innocent men who had been wrongfully condemned to death by a corrupt official. Nicholas appeared in a vision to the Emperor Constantine and the official, compelling them to spare the men's lives. This miraculous intervention earned Nicholas a reputation as a protector of the oppressed and a defender of justice. Throughout his life, Nicholas performed numerous miracles, earning him the epithet, Nicholas the Wonderworker. He was believed to have the power to heal the sick, calm storms at sea, and even resurrect the dead. These miraculous deeds only served to enhance his reputation as a saintly figure. Saint Nicholas died on December 6, 343 AD, in Myra, where he was buried in a grand cathedral dedicated to him. Over the centuries, devotion to Saint Nicholas spread throughout Europe and beyond, with churches and cathedrals erected in his honor. His feast day became a day of celebration and reflection, commemorating his life and legacy of compassion and generosity. In medieval Europe, Saint Nicholas's feast day was marked by the giving of small gifts and treats to children. This tradition gradually merged with other holiday customs, including the celebration of Christmas, which commemorates the birth of Jesus Christ. During the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century, the veneration of saints, including Saint Nicholas, came under scrutiny in some regions of Europe. In Protestant areas where the veneration of saints was discouraged, the tradition of gift-giving was often transferred to Christmas Day itself or to the figure of the Christ child. However, in many Catholic regions, particularly in the Netherlands, Belgium, and parts of Germany, the veneration of Saint Nicholas persisted. In these areas, Saint Nicholas continued to be celebrated as a gift-giver on his feast day. The Dutch brought the tradition of Saint Nicholas, or Santa Claus, as they called him, with them to the New World when they settled in New Amsterdam, which later became New York City. Over time, the name Santa Claus evolved into Santa Claus, and the image of Saint Nicholas began to blend with other cultural influences. In the 19th century, the American author Washington Irving and the illustrator Thomas Nast played significant roles in shaping the modern image of Santa Claus. Irving's portrayal of Saint Nicholas in his 1809 book, Knickerbocker's History of New York, depicted him as a jolly old man who rode a flying wagon and delivered gifts to children. Nast's illustrations, which appeared in publications like Harper's Weekly in the late 1800s, depicted Santa Claus as a rotund, bearded figure dressed in a red suit. These images, combined with the influence of Clement Clarke Moore's 1823 poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, commonly known as The Night Before Christmas, helped solidify the modern image of Santa Claus as a benevolent figure who delivers gifts to children on Christmas Eve. As his prominence grew, Santa Claus was described as everything from a kind old man with a blue three-cornered hat, red waistcoat, and yellow stockings to a man wearing a broad-brimmed hat and a huge pair of Flemish trunk hose. Gift giving, mainly centered around children, has been an important part of the Christmas celebration since the holiday's rejuvenation in the early 19th century. Stores began to advertise Christmas shopping in 1820, and by the 1840s, newspapers were creating separate sections for holiday advertisements, which often featured images of the newly popular Santa Claus. In 1841, thousands of children visited a Philadelphia shop to see a life-size Santa Claus model. It was only a matter of time before stores began to attract children and their parents with the lure of a peek at a live Santa Claus. In the early 1890s, the Salvation Army needed money to pay for the free Christmas meals they provided to needy families. They began dressing up unemployed men in Santa Claus suits and sending them into the streets of New York to solicit donations. Those familiar Salvation Army Santas have been ringing bells on the street corners of American cities ever since. Today, Santa Claus is one of the most recognizable and beloved figures in popular culture, who embodies the spirit of generosity and giving, traits that are central to the Christmas season. The tradition of Santa Claus delivering gifts to children on Christmas Eve reinforces the idea of spreading joy and goodwill, encouraging people to share with others during the holiday season. For children around the world, Santa Claus represents a magical and enchanting figure. The anticipation of Santa's arrival on Christmas Eve, the writing of letters to Santa, and the belief in his ability to deliver presents bring a sense of wonder and excitement to the holiday season. The concept of Santa Claus is deeply embedded in many families' Christmas traditions and rituals. From visiting Santa at the mall to leaving out cookies and milk for him on Christmas Eve, these customs create cherished memories and strengthen family bonds. Today, Santa Claus is a central figure in community and cultural celebrations during the Christmas season. From Santa Claus parades and appearances at local events to volunteer initiatives where individuals dress up as Santa to spread cheer, the presence of Santa Claus fosters a sense of togetherness and camaraderie within communities. Santa Claus's image transcends cultural and geographical boundaries, making him a universal symbol of Christmas around the world. While different cultures may have their own variations of Santa Claus, the core concept of a benevolent gift giver who spreads joy during the holiday season remains consistent. While his origins may lie in the ancient traditions surrounding St. Nicholas, Santa Claus has become a cultural icon whose appeal transcends religious and cultural boundaries, bringing joy to millions of people around the world each year. Thank you for being patient listeners. This is signing off. AI Bobby from The Untold Stories. For more such informative, untold stories, subscribe our channel. For you it's just a click of the button, and no loss. But for us it is an encouragement to keep telling you untold stories. Thank you.